Yeah, we're doing it. I don't like it, but let's do it. Let's hear it.
I'm holding up. This is the gig, man. This is my Super Bowl. Whenever a big chunky RPG comes out, and I know I'm about to lose my life, so I'm getting close to the end there, and it feels good.
Let's talk about this review process for a little bit, why we don't have a final review right now, although you do have like a score in mind already at this point with 100 hours under your belt. The review process for this one was weird. It's a huge game. Like we said, it's over 100 hours, and there's tons more side content you could be doing beyond just getting to the end of the game. Not that you haven't been doing none of that or anything like that. We only got code for this about 2 weeks before the embargo, the review embargo, and the first 2 days of your playing, they went, oh, sorry, we have to push a patch that's going to completely wipe your save data. So we lost the first 2 days. You hit a game-breaking bug at one point that made you lose a ton of progress because you had to reload a save file from like 7 hours earlier or find a different save file. There was a day where like 100 gigabyte patch came through that was slow to download, and it was just like a very stop and start review process, even in the context of only having 2 weeks to play this huge
That could have a part in how he reviewed the game, because they weren't done patching the game, fixing it for release. Maybe he got a little sick of it to start over.
RPG. You're really close to the end and then going to spend some time with the end game. For those who haven't seen much or don't know, if have only seen trailers, have just bought into the hype, whatever, what actually is Crimson Desert? What does it play like? What type of RPG is it? And what do you think of it so far? What do you think of it after this 100 hours you spent with it?
Yeah, so Crimson Desert is a super ambitious open world RPG.
Also, to answer, I'm sorry. I saw your comment. I forgot. Do I need a control to play this game like Dark Souls? No, you don't. No, you don't. But holy hell, I recommend it.
In a fantasy setting, the same setting as Black Desert Online. And if you haven't seen this game, it's very much kind of going for like the Witcher 3 vibes, where you're riding around on a horse and you're taking out bandits and you're helping the land, kind of knights and gallantry type stuff going on.
Okay.
But with a very weird kind of, Eastern fantasy vibes, where there's also just like strange creatures and lore and stuff like that. So it is a interesting fantasy world, and I would say the game, it's sort of like trying to be Witcher 3 with a little bit of Red Dead 2, because it has like these long rides on a horse.
I hate when people say that. It's trying to be. No, it's not fucking trying to be. That's not how they made the game. Okay, let's make our Witcher 3. No.
Where you're just like talking
That's
with
not
a
how it
teammate.
works.
It has like that sort of thing. And then it's also got a little bit of like GTA open world like craziness, and also you have to tap A to run, which I thought was something that only GTA was allowed to do. Yeah, it's sort of going for all of those things, but I would say that it ends up landing closer to something.
But it's going for those things? How it's going for those things? It's already comparison. Yeah, they're going for this. They're trying to be like that. Huh? Yeah, he lost the fucking memo.
Dragon's Dogma, where it's not exactly of the same kind of caliber as like a Witcher 3, but it presents a compelling case for this type of
Does it have to be the same caliber? What?
bizarre, super ambitious RPG, even if it doesn't always achieve the stuff that it's trying to achieve.
Yeah,
okay.
So let's dig into that, because I feel like it's been a little bit of a roller coaster when I've talked to you about this game during this review process, where there's, it's sort of a rocky start, and then you find a groove with it, and then it just gets laborious at parts, and there's all these bugs mixed in there. So like, what is it doing right? What is it doing wrong?
So yeah, the very beginning, it's a little tough just because the controls on this game are crazy, like very, they have you hold buttons and do combinations of joystick clicks, and if you're on keyboard, you're hitting.
Never played a fighting game, dude? You never played a fighting game? Oh, it's so many buttons too. Oh, you have to press button, you have to hold buttons. What the fuck? He's not a gamer. Yeah, this motherfucker never played any combat game. Exactly like, what the fuck? Oh, yeah? Huh? What the fuck is this? Stupid ass.
Multiple keys at once to like access different tool sets. It's just a very convoluted control scheme.
We should note also that we only got access to, they only gave access to the PC version ahead of release. We're getting access to the console version at launch, and we'll...
Doesn't fucking matter. You can just hook up a controller and play with a controller. You don't have to play with a keyboard and mouse.
We'll take a look at it there too. But you've played on both, with both a gamepad and a mouse and keyboard.
Okay,
at this
correct.
point.
Nice.
Yeah, and
that's
so
good.
the beginning, you're kind of figuring out a lot of stuff that the game doesn't do super intuitively, and it's a little bit rocky. Then you figure it out, and you're sort of like, okay, I get.
That's how it is when you play a new game. But I would say it's rocky. It's just you just have to figure it out. But if it doesn't take that long. You don't need fucking yellow paint to move on. But we need key binding. That we need. We do. You just want the game to hold his hand. Yeah.
Edit. Now I'm in an open world. Let's go see what's out there. And I would say that that's like the best part of the game is when you're just like exploring and you're finding like mini games, like, oh, there's arm wrestling. Oh, okay. I can go fishing. There's this weird side quest where I'm helping somebody, and you're just kind of like exploring the world, and it's all very new to you. And that sort of is like the best part of any RPG, right? And I think this game.
Look at this. Holy shit. And it's even more to the sides and up and down. Holy damn. Wow, that's huge.
It has so many surprising elements in it that you're continually.
It never stops.
Oh, okay.
Just keeps going.
Kind of wasn't expecting that to be here. It has a little bit of Tears of the Kingdom as well, where you're like grabbing things and solving puzzles, and it's not to the point where you're like building contraptions and all that, but you are. You do have like abilities, and also it does that thing in Tears of the Kingdom where there's a sky world and a floor world, and you're kind of going back and forth between the two and falling from the sky down back to the normal world. And so it does some stuff like that where you're just like discovering and having fun. And then you hit a moment where two things happen. One, you start going more into like the main story and the boss fights and some of the bigger war set pieces that happen. They have like war encounters. And you start to realize that this game is a little janky in more ways than one. So the boss fights in this game are real bad. They are not fun encounters. They are scaled way too aggressively. They take a really long time to do.
See that shit? There's Dark Souls in the background. So I guess he played Dark Souls. They scale too aggressively and they take way too long. Look at this. Okay, let's start there. Elden Ring. Yeah, and Elden Ring. Yeah, Elden Ring and Dark Souls. Probably never touched it. No, but it takes way too long. Oh, okay. Look at the health. Look at the fucking health of the boss.
For you to sort of like flub
when he hits him
way through it. And it kind of seems like you are supposed to flub your way through a lot of these encounters, and it makes it feel real bad.
That's distinct from...
How is that long? Like, they lose about this much health every time you hit him. Huh? Like, just a few more hits and he's already halfway?
Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild have a similar feeling where you're
Look
like,
at that.
Am I supposed to be doing this right now, sort of thing.
I mean, he just sucks, though.
But that game...
It's way too... The boss are way too aggressive! Help me! Help me!
really rewards you for being creative. That's the feeling you get, is like, wow, I cannot believe that this weird thing I didn't think I was supposed to do worked. Whereas you're saying this doesn't really evoke that same rewarding feeling.
It feels like you either did it wrong or you broke something, and sometimes you are doing it wrong, by the way. Like I was talking.
Yeah, hey, you are doing a lot of things wrong right now.
Mitchell Saltzman and I have been talking about this game a lot, and like he missed an entire ability that you're supposed to get mandatorily in one of the early chapters, and if you don't get it, you just can't get it, and it's a huge part of the game. It's like a power you need to get through like lots of side quests and optional stuff, and we asked we have access to the developers during this period, luckily, and so he said, hey, what's up with that? Am I screwed? Is my file broken? And they were like, oh no, just beat chapter 9 and you'll get there. And chapter 9 is 80 hours into the game. It's like miles and miles away. And so it was just one of those things where it was like, okay, I didn't have that encounter, but as you mentioned, I did run into a game breaking bug that completely shut me out of my save file. I could not progress in the main story. And because I was 7 hours behind, I had to choose, okay, am I going to start 7 hours over, or am I just going to borrow somebody else's save file who's around the same part as me and then continue playing through their file? And so,
which is not ideal.
Okay, that sounds pretty bad, actually.
Oh no, not ideal at all. And it sucked because I really was attached to my character, my build, and it felt like I had like my own story.
But he's not mentioning the game-breaking bug. Maybe it isn't a game-breaking bug. Maybe he thinks it is. He's not giving us details.
And yeah, that sort of stuff. Between like the jankiness, like there are bugs, like weird stuff happens, quests.
And I gotta say, I just have to say, how the fuck, IGN? Why is there no 4K, 2K video? It's IGN. Don't they have money? Don't they have a, like, fucking, how do they record this shit?
Break, like, stuff just happens in the game where you're just like, oh man, that sucks. It really hurts. And then also just like the moment-to-moment gameplay, particularly in the main storyline, where things just feel very poorly tuned and off kilter and out of nowhere, between the unintuitive puzzles and the boss fights that just feel arbitrarily difficult, where you're not sure if you're supposed to be getting good or leveling up your equipment, or if you're just supposed to eat 50 stacks of.
They do that on purpose to make game looks worse? Yeah, because some videos are HD, some are 4K or 2K, right? I think it is. I think they just pick and choose. It just depends on the game.
Neat, while you like chump your way through these. Like it seriously is just a very chumpy.
Hold on, we gotta.
Quests break, like stuff just happens in the game where you're just like, oh man, that sucks. It really hurts. And then also just like the moment-to-moment gameplay, particularly in the main storyline, where things just feel very poorly tuned and off kilter and out of nowhere, between the unintuitive puzzles and the boss fights that just feel arbitrarily difficult, where you're
yellow paint. He wants yellow paint.
Not sure if you're supposed to be getting good or leveling up your equipment, or if you're just supposed to eat 50 stacks of meat while you like chump your way through these. Like it seriously is just a very weird game from top to bottom. And so the longer I've played it,
what's wrong with you?
The more I've been kind of frustrated, because I'm running into these issues and it's just sort of getting old.
Issues? Hey, Vikings, he's running into issues in Carissa Desert because he can't take down a boss. He can't figure out the puzzle. There has to be something wrong with the game. There's something wrong with the game. I can't move past this boss. Oh, this puzzle is too hard. There's something wrong with the game. What the fuck is this?
The more I've been kind of frustrated, because I'm running into these issues and it's just sort of getting old. And one of those is that they just don't know when to end a combat sequence. Like the big war sequences, they go on for way too long, where you're like doing multiple steps. Like you have to carry around a flag and plant it while 80 guys are around you hitting you. And if one of them hits you, you drop the flag and then have to begin this long button mashing process to pick it up super slowly and move it another couple feet. Like,
that sounds awesome.
Stuff like that.
That sounds epic.
Where you're just like, oh my God, I've been at this for 4 hours and I'm still on the same step of the quest. And it's just like, please let me out of this.
I want to see if that particular quest takes 4 hours, then okay, I get it. But we're going to play it just in a few hours. I want to see how wrong he is.
I would say the description is the highs are quite high, because they've done the super ambitious thing and they've kind of thrown everything at the wall, but the lows are really low. And it kind of feels like this game tries a little too much. It bites off more than it can chew, and it ends up being kind of a jack of all trades and a master of none.
I Highly doubt it.
particularly in kind of the shape of its story and combat encounters and the stuff you're doing out in the world. It just has a very uneven kind of feel to it.
So you're close to the end, like we said.
Yes.
What's kind of left to see? What's the lingering questions? End game, if there is that
Pretty
sort of
much.
stuff?
Pretty much, yeah. So I've tried to focus mostly on the story, which I don't really recommend. Like you kind of need to smell the roses in this game. It kind of forces you to be ready for the next part of the story. So I
And
do
it's not like
recommend-
Bro, does look like a handheld baby gamer, or you missed something. You fucking missed something because we checked out his other articles and what type of games he likes. This is the wrong dude to review a game like this, that's for sure. Yeah. And he gave Veil God. He gave Veil God a 9 and High God a 7.
you've done none of that, right?
No, I have. And in fact, the game basically forced me to at one point where it was like, okay, I'm very clearly not equipped for this, so I'm just going to go back and do some other stuff and build your settlement and do side quests and level up your gear and kind of figure out the stuff there. It really does want you to do that, but once you get to the end game, some stuff unlocked that I won't spoil here, but I'm looking forward to playing that for a couple hours. I'd really just want to finish the game because, as you know, part of IGN's style guide is we finish games before we write reviews, and even though this happens to be an enormous RPG that probably nobody should try to finish in 2 weeks, like I'm gonna try to do that just so that I can speak from a completely informed perspective before I put a final
Yeah, pushing through a game like this in 2 weeks, I'm not sure, to be honest, if that's the most healthy way.
score on it.
So you've got a little bit more to see. You've seen a ton already. If you had to score it now, what realm would you be in? Obviously, this isn't official final score. It could still shift if the end really saves it or botches it, or the end game is truly amazing, whatever. But what realm are you in right now?
Yeah, it can always change, and I try to keep an open mind during these things, but after 100 hours, you're gonna have some opinions about a game, and and I have a lot of them, right? And so I'm gonna be writing my review in progress later today, at the time of this recording. But my overall thoughts is like it tries so much. It's a technical mark.
Okay, so he said the boss battles are way too long, and again, they're not. I just don't get it because every hit is like takes off like this much health. I just don't get it.
We haven't really talked about, but like
Look at
it
that.
just looks absolutely stunning and performs surprisingly well.
A technical marvel outside of all of the game-breaking bugs.
Yes, the game-breaking bugs. I mean, technically, like frame rates and the way it just looks pretty throughout.
Performance-wise,
Performance-wise, it looks good. But like the stuff that it does bad, the lows are just really low, enough for me to have trouble recommending this game.
What the fuck? Hold on. Johnny! Fuck it, get a hit on this guy. Search him up. Race into. He can't review games like this. Send IGN a letter. Yeah, pick whatever bird. We need it over there. Fuck, That's.
Especially like if you're going and looking for Witcher 3, like, man, this is not it. Like, it's closer to Two Worlds 2, which, by the way, is a game that is really janky and uneven, but a game I also had a lot of fun with. And
Hold on. For people who played Witcher 3, was it janky and uneven? Has it ever been janky and uneven? This is his words. I have only played like 10 minutes of the game, so I don't know. I want to know. At launch, was it janky and uneven? I just want to know. Oh, how is the comments? Oh, he's getting cooked. He's getting fucking cooked. What the fuck is this?
had fun with this game, but I probably am going to be looking at like the 6 range for this. I think it falls short of me being able to like soundly recommend it with a 7 as like a good game. I would say it is an okay game.
7 is a good game. He gave High God a 7. So High God is better than Crimson?
And like it does the stuff that it does super well, and the fact that it just has so much in it, it's hard to be like, it's hard to look away from that because they tried so hard with all the different things they put in the game. But you know, they threw everything at the wall, and now you're going to the buffet, and there's a lot of options here, but none of the food is particularly good at the buffet. You know what I mean?
Wow. Wow, Pearl Abyss, don't listen to this fucking guy. What the
that
fuck?
sort of is where I'm at with this one. It's a lot of stuff, but the amount of stuff that I would describe as like definitively good and that I've had like a great time doing is getting thinner and thinner the longer I play, man. It's just it's been tough.
We'll check.
What the fuck? No. No. Oh, what?
Travis, thank you very much for telling us your thoughts so far. Obviously, like you said, 100 hours is a ton of time with it, so you already are very well informed in that regard. But I'm glad we're taking the time to really put it through its paces, finishes this.
Did he just say it's not a ton of hours?
Thoughts so far. Obviously, like you said, 100 hours is a ton of time with it, so you already are very well informed in that regard. But I'm glad we're taking the time to really put it through its paces, finishes this review up, and we should have a final review hopefully in the next week pretty soon, so keep an eye out for that with a final score. If you want some other,
I bet you it's gonna be I bet you I forgot. Fuck it up.